Former Mayor Darrell Bradley used to say that his dream was to make Belize City a place its residents all love to live in. We suspect those who must still cross London bridges under low-lying power lines to get home at night will disagree, but so do those forced to live next to businesses operating with machinery or near a nightclub or bar. While it does not address every individual concern and is not intended to, the IDB-backed plan for a full Belize City zoning ordinance tries to tackle the most important, according to Sitca's Finance Director, Marilyn Ordonez.
This zoning ordinance is coming out of a study that IDB has done for Belize City in terms of developing a land use policy, the way we use the land within Belize City, and the ordinance itself is a regulation that will assist us in standardizing and organizing Belize City. And so what the act will do is to ensure that we can develop the social fabric of the city and not segregate, develop informal parts of the city into formalized structures where we don't discriminate in terms of where poorer class people live or higher class or higher income levels live. So what the act will do is to kind of regulate that so that we have a mixed use in different areas where we can put density where it's important to have density for development of any city, where you have shopping, where people can mix better. It assists in terms of crime, social ills, and it kind of replace that type of issue that has been occurring within Belize City.
The council and the bank have hosted several consultations, of which today's was the third, with the many stakeholders involved in making sure that this nascent plan works. IDB consultant and CEO of Grupo Innovatera, Jean-Roch Lebeau, says that on his visit to the city, he noticed that Belize does not take enough advantage of the imprint of green spaces and the canals and waterways, which he argues could add a new dimension to tourism. Suggestions for such places are included in the draft zoning plan.
What a tourist is looking in a city is exactly this kind of assets, this kind of the nature, the heritage, the water. This is very the kind of things that people wants to see in a city. And if you want tourism to stay 1 day, 2 days, 3 days in Belize City, because this is very good for economic development, you need to improve this natural environment. What can be done, for example, is to try to liberate all the coast and the rivage of the river, make better access for the Belizean people to go in the river and to walk along the river. So when you think about the urbanization, the new places that you will urbanize in the future, you have to build them around this idea of the water and the river and the sea. And the places that are right now built, you have to re-accommodate, you have to retransform them, make a new urbanization based on this idea that you are talking about, blueprint and corridors, green corridors around the city.
After consultations, the plan goes to the Ministry of Local Government for final approval. Ordonez reiterated that the current pace of growth is not sustainable for future development, so it is important for all to be involved.
We will be sharing this information on our website so that people can begin to look at it. It's important that the residents take note if we want to develop our city into what modern cities are becoming, and it's happening to Belize City, but we don't want it as it is presently growing, where we have squatters, where we have industries springing up in the middle of the community, or residential areas. So we want to organize, right? We have some prime area like Coney Drive area that's developing. We want to make sure that it is regulated. It also will facilitate the construction industry, the architects, the engineers, into knowing exactly how they must build and what is required.
Aaron Humes reporting for News 5.